Today we're going to take a quick look at the asset management capabilities inside the Dalim ES product. Now, traditionally ES works based on projects, which relied on users having to upload via the web or through a hot folder, but Dalim have recently added the ability to monitor file systems directly. Now, not only does this mean that ES can be used as an asset management system, but it also has access to the projects, workflows and annotation tools that were already available in ES. So let's log in and take a look. And it's worth noting here that the users can either be made directly in the system or they can be imported via an LDAP or an Active Directory connection. So the first thing you'll notice is that my site's been branded for IO integration. You can create as many login screens and themes as you would like, so you can have it can be customized for each one of your customers logging in. If I go over to the left hand side, I've got my tree view navigation, and if I look at my file systems, you'll notice that I've got both London and New York. One of the most powerful features of the file system monitoring is its ability to look at remote file systems. Now this means that you can have one centralized system looking at files across several sites. So not only does it give you a single entry point to all of your assets, but it means there's only one set of users and workflows that you need to administer. And if you need to add an additional file system or you open a new office in another site, then you don't need to go and buy another copy of the damn software. So I'll go into London Projects Production and look at the images that I've got in there. This is my thumbnail view. It's quite a simple, clean view. You can see there's not too many options available to me. I've got the slider up here to change the size. And then underneath each asset, I've got the option to view, I can download, or I can add to my shopping basket if I want to download more than one at a time. Now these views are totally customizable, so you define what actions are available and to what your clients can actually do with them. So here you say whether it's available underneath an individual asset, if it's in a menu drop down up here, if it's in the menu bar over here, or if it's available as a contextual menu. So I also have a list view, and here I can see all the metadata that's assigned against each of the files, and that's read in from the assets automatically. And you can choose what columns are displayed in here. I also have a single page mode, and I can actually collapse all of these menu items and make full use of the screen here as well, and toggle through all of my assets. Or I can use my film strip along the bottom to quickly navigate through. The last mode I have is the comparison mode. Here it lets me get two assets side by side, which is particularly handy if you've got a lot of photography studios or people have a lot of images that are very similar to each other. So like I said, all these views are totally customizable and they can actually be applied on a per folder basis. So if I was to navigate through to my packaging folder, you'll see now I've got a lot more options available. I've added a custom menu up here. I'm viewing the metadata ranking, which is being pulled in from the files. I've got the ability to share these assets via social media, and I've also got a quick way of approving and rejecting these files. I've also got the option to filter these assets, whether that's through ranking or via approval. And when you set up these filters, they can either be user defined, so like here you're allowing the user to come in and toggle between the filters, or they can be predefined filters. So in that way, only assets that meet the criteria that you specify are displayed in the DAM. So this folder also allows me to upload. So if I click over here, I get this upload window pop up. This is HTML5, so I can drag and drop in straight from my desktop, or I can just add files over here. I'll grab this image, upload. You can see I've got some metadata that I have to fill out before I upload it. So now that's registering in the system. It will go through, it will start reading the metadata and generating a thumbnail for that file. Some of the other options, I've also got the ability to repurpose my assets. So if I was to select, say, a PDF, but I want that to be converted to a JPEG and I want it knocked down to 72 dpi, so I've got a nice low-res version of that, I can just do that in there. And I've also got the ability to share my assets. So under my contextual menu, under Share Document, I can choose to send someone an email link. And I can set start and end date, so I'll give them a week that they can access that image. Type a message for them and press OK to send it off. This is a great time-saving feature to avoid having to create logins for people who aren't necessarily going to be a regular user in the system. So let's go back to my production folder and take a quick look at the annotation view. So if I use the binocular icon here, this will load up. And this is HTML5, so it's incredibly quick to load. We have our thumbnails on our left hand side, which is used if you use to open several images at once, or if you use to open a multi-page PDF or InDesign document, all the pages will be listed down there. We have our main viewing window in the center and our annotation palette on the right. So I can use this slider here to zoom in on the image and pan around. And then I've got access to these annotation tools. So this will allow me to create notes, or I can use the drawing tools to highlight a particular area. And you can see all of these are tracked over on my right hand side palette. And as I hover over these, it highlights it on the document itself. It's particularly handy if you've got a lot of notes on the page. We can also come in and we can reply to notes. Or we can actually enable checkboxes on them as well. So you can tick them and let you know that they've been done. So the visibility of these notes is also controlled. So you can define who's able to see each other's notes, and they might have to be part of a certain customer or a certain group. And there's also a load of extra tools that can be added to this annotation view. If you need any more details on what's available, then please drop me an email after this demo. So that annotation tool works for all static image files and PDFs, but ES is also able to annotate on a lot of other formats. So if I go over to a video, here you'll see I get a slightly different view, and I can actually play the video.
With the new Sky bundles, now.
And if I pause it, I can then create a note or sketch on it as before, but it's applied to this timeline along the bottom. So each note is assigned against a place in time, so then we can dictate how long the annotation is displayed for. So if I was to drag this one a little bit longer than that one, then once I play it, it should disappear after the relevant time.
Have it all. Get new unlimited broadband with calls together with Sky TV. Get all the.
Now, ES is also able to annotate on HTML files, on Flash files, and also 3D. So if I go to my 3D files here, you can see I've got the artwork and then I've got the collider file. Now this is a XML based file that references all the images used in it. And if I choose to open this, I now have my 3D file, which I can turn around, rotate, and then annotate on here as well. Again, all the same options are available to you. So ES is really able to handle a large variety of files, and because of the powerful workflow engine in ES, we can create complex approval cycles and move and manipulate files based on either metadata changes or on the annotations that have just been made. This could be something simple like moving the files to another folder, converting them to another format, or you might want it to automatically FTP somewhere. Now, of course, all of this is tracked in the system, or users can receive custom email notifications as well.